What is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. So I wanted to make a video on Deontay Wilder. This past weekend, Deontay Wilder retained his WBC heavyweight title by knocking out Luis Ortiz in 7 rounds. It was a brutal knockout, a come-from-behind knockout, and just great viewing for me as a boxing fan. And I think we can all agree, Deontay Wilder is one of the most polarizing figures in boxing. You know, from an outsider looking in, you know, from a person who tries to be fair with all fighters, you know, people either love this guy or hate this guy. There's no real in-between with Deontay Wilder. People tend to go way over the top and totally ignore his flaws, or they do the opposite and they completely hate on this guy to an irrational level where it's embarrassing, right? I wanted to make this video to, you know, just talk about Deontay Wilder, his game, his improvements, etc., how he set himself up for 2020, and basically what a good position he's in right now. First and foremost, you know, I've been critical of Deontay Wilder in the past, you know, basically up until 2017, because I wasn't completely happy with his level of competition, right? I think that was a fair criticism. And also a few things he said outside the ring that doesn't really sit well with me. Not the catch a body comment, I didn't really care about that, to be honest with you, but other comments he's made. So I've been critical of Deontay Wilder, but I believe for fair reasons. And not only that, his fan base are kind of toxic, you know, the hardcore Wilder fans. They are kind of toxic. But, you know, they are my only complaints with Deontay Wilder. Since 2018 forwards, I've really had no complaints in regards to the competition Wilder's faced. So 2018, he fought Luis Ortiz in the first fight. At that time, Ortiz was unbeaten and a credible heavyweight. He was top 10, don't let anybody tell you different. He was a credible heavyweight, and he was a really good challenge for Deontay Wilder. After that, he fought Tyson Fury. Now, I felt the Tyson Fury fight was, you know, a gamble on Deontay Wilder's team. I think they believed Tyson Fury was well past his best after the long layoff. So that was kind of a cherry pick gone wrong. But it was still Tyson Fury. Even a depleted Tyson Fury is still a good fighter. So 2018 overall, I had no complaints with Wilder's competition. I felt he lost the Fury fight, but at the same time, it wasn't the schooling a lot of Fury fanboys made it out to be. You know, it was a very good fight, competitive, that I felt Fury won. So 2018 for Wilder, decent year in terms of competition fought. In regards to 2019, obviously Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Breazeale. Not a fight I really cared about, to be honest with you. However, it was a mandatory with a WBC. And let's be honest, Joshua fans were giving him credit for beating Dominic Breazeale. So if it's good for Joshua, why is it not good for Wilder, right? Again, I'm not saying Dominic Breazeale was the fight I wanted to see, but it was a mandatory, and he was a guy I saw people give Joshua credit for beating. So Dominic Breazeale, not the best, not the worst, and obviously most recently Luis Ortiz in a rematch. Again, not the rematch anybody was really clamouring for, but Ortiz proved in that rematch he still had something left in the tank. He came in really good shape, and it was a credible challenge for Deontay Wilder. So, the last 2 years for Wilder in regards to competition, could it have been better? Of course. But was it terrible? Absolutely not. In fact, we got some good fights. 3 of those 4 fights I really enjoyed. And if you're giving me that as a boxing fan, I'm not going to complain. If you've given me 3 really competitive fights in 4, I'm not going to complain, right? So, Deontay Wilder's competition in the last 2 years, fine by me. Now, in that 2-year period, you know, there was also the Anthony Joshua negotiations. Some people like to blame Deontay Wilder completely. Some people like to blame Anthony Joshua completely. I personally believe both guys were to blame. Both sets of promotion were to blame. And that's a black mark against both of them. So I'm not going to hold that against Deontay Wilder any more than I do AJ. So that is a negative, but, you know, still the last 2 years I felt Deontay Wilder's competition has been solid enough. And as for Deontay Wilder, the fighter, let's be honest about it, he is one of the most entertaining fighters in boxing. I can't see how anybody can watch this guy and not be entertained, whether you like the guy or hate the guy. The guy is extremely fun to watch, and he's violence personified. You know, when I look at fighters I really enjoy watching or I really like, they are always guys who bring that aggression, that knockout power, or that violence to the ring, and Deontay Wilder does that. The only difference with Deontay Wilder, and this is my fault, this is on me, I've been guilty of letting his fans kind of turn me off Deontay Wilder. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to enjoy Deontay Wilder while he's still around because he's great to watch. So he brings a style to the ring that I really enjoy as well. And on top of that, let's talk about Deontay Wilder's skill set. Oh, people say Deontay Wilder only has power. Does he rely on his power? Absolutely. I think Stevie Wonder could see that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work that out. Yes, Deontay Wilder relies on his power, but in my opinion, that's not his only really impressive attribute. One aspect of Deontay Wilder's game that I've really grown to be impressed with is his patience, composure, and his tremendous self-belief while in a fight. You know, there have been numerous times when Deontay Wilder has been losing a fight. You know, the Arthur Spielka fight, the Gerald Washington fight, the first and second Ortiz fights, the Fury fight, and this guy always comes back to either win the fight or get a result. Yes, the Fury fight was a bit of a gift, but he still came back to land 2 knockdowns. He has tremendous self-belief, and you never really see this guy flustered. You never really see this guy flustered at all. And eventually he always finds a way to land that right hand. And it's not like this guy throws a million punches per round where eventually one's going to land. No, the guy is very economical with his work. So he's picking his shots. He's relatively accurate and he sets these shots up. This is when I know people haven't even been in the boxing gym. Again, I've never had an amateur fight. I've only sparred. But people act like it's easy to land punches. It's not. And you know, when you're a guy like Deontay Wilder who's got a low output, that makes it even more impressive to see what he does, to see him knocking these guys out. You know, look at the knockout against Luis Ortiz. Look at how he set that knockout up, you know. Throughout this fight, he was kind of playing with Luis Ortiz's lead hand control. He was prodding, probing, trying to draw Luis Ortiz's lead. And as a result, Luis Ortiz, yes, he was kind of aggressive, but he really wasn't putting full power in his punches because he wasn't keen on overextending and getting knocked out again like the first fight. You know, I saw a lot of people be critical of Luis Ortiz for not sitting down on his punches and, you know, trying to go for the knockout. Well, for me, that was partly due to what Deontay Wilder was doing. You know, he had Luis Ortiz occupied and wary of what was coming back. You know, I think it was Hatman who says Deontay Wilder likes to play a game of chicken. And eventually, he'll get you to swerve before he swerves. If that makes sense. He'll get you to go off your game before he gets off his game. And that was a really good analogy. And that's what happened in the Luis Ortiz fight, you know. Ortiz in the first sort of 6 rounds was coming forwards, but he was being very cautious doing it. And after 6 rounds, I think the guy realised, man, I'm 6 rounds up. I'm easily winning this fight. Then he got gassed. Then he swerved. He got more aggressive. Then he got knocked out. You know, Deontay Wilder's mental attributes are extremely impressive to me. How the guy remains composed, how the guy always has confidence in his power, and not only has confidence in his power, but has confidence to land these shots. Deontay Wilder's setup game is very good. Again, look at the knockout against Luis Ortiz in this rematch. You know, he throws like a throwaway jab, and he throws that jab to occupy the lead hand control of Luis Ortiz. He kind of uses it to, you know, kind of split Luis Ortiz's guard, and he followed up with a right hand down the pipe, and that knocked out Luis Ortiz. And it's not like Luis Ortiz didn't see that shot coming. He saw the shot coming, but he couldn't block it. He tried to get his hand back, but because of Deontay Wilder's initial throwaway jab, he split the guard, and he came through the middle with a right hand, which landed, and Ortiz couldn't, you know, get his hand back in time. That was perfectly set up. That was perfectly set up from Deontay Wilder. So, If anybody says this guy has no skill or no ability, they are crazy. It takes ability to set up and land fight-finishing punches. Let's say, for example, Deontay Wilder had the exact same attributes as he does now. The same power, the same height and reach, the same speed, everything. However, his setup game was poor. If his setup game was poor, he wouldn't have as many knockouts. He wouldn't have bailed himself out so many times. It's not a fluke Deontay Wilder always lands that one shot. It's not. It's happened too many times now. You know, and certain things I've seen from this guy really impress me. Again, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm not saying this guy is a master boxer. He's not. He's very raw. Defensively, he does leave a lot of openings. But what this guy brings to the table can offset that. You know? Even the aura of Deontay Wilder is part of his game. It really is. A lot of guys are terrified when they fight this man. Straight up. They're not willing to take risks. Look at how Fury fought Deontay Wilder. Much different approach to Klitschko. He was moving much more against Deontay Wilder. Much more. You know, he wasn't standing in front of Wilder at all. He was standing in front of Klitschko at times, just feinting and probing away. Never did that with Wilder. Guys fight differently against Deontay Wilder, and, you know, that is because of the aura. So that's also another effective attribute of his game, just the sheer aura of that knockout power. If you don't believe his opponents buy into that, you're crazy. Of course they do. Of course they do. All of these guys buy into it, and that affects their game. If I look at the heavyweight division right now, I'm not sure who goes in that ring and is totally fearless against Deontay Wilder. I think the only guy would be Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte stylistically could pose Deontay Wilder problems if he can get to the inside and work that body. But he could get his ass knocked clean out trying to get in. You know? Deontay Wilder, is he perfect? Absolutely not. He's not perfect. He's got a lot of flaws. But is this guy a terrible fighter like some people say? I see people call this guy a bum, skillless, etc. That's not the case. That's not the case. If Deontay Wilder was as bad as people said he was, Fury would have beat him. Ortiz would have beat him. You know, I've literally heard people call Tyson Fury the next Muhammad Ali. Go online and look it up. People have said that, right? And in the same breath, oh, Deontay Wilder's shit. This guy dropped Tyson Fury twice, bruv. You know, the best defensive boxer in the heavyweight division, Wilder still dropped this guy twice. The guy's not shit. The guy is a very good fighter. He's very dangerous, and on any given day, he can beat anybody in the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk, whether you like to admit it or not. And deep down, you know, these guys know. The guys who are really unfair on Wilder, these guys know he could knock out their favourite heavyweight. Straight up. And again, if you followed this channel for a long period of time, I've been critical of Deontay Wilder. There are legitimate reasons to be critical of Deontay Wilder. The guy isn't perfect by any means. But in the last 12-18 months or so, especially this year, I believe the ill feeling towards Deontay Wilder has gone over the top. Especially since Joshua lost to Ruiz. That's when I've really noticed it, to be quite honest. Since Joshua's lost to Ruiz, these guys have really doubled down on Deontay Wilder. And I don't like to see a fighter get, you know, hated on unfairly. Again, there are legitimate reasons to criticise Deontay Wilder. I'm not disputing that, but some people are just way over the top, to be honest with you. I do think a lot of people have, you know, let go of genuine criticism and they've just turned to hate Deontay Wilder. And I think that's a little sad, to be honest. I made a similar video actually about Alexander Usyk, and that was actually about Deontay Wilder fangirls, to be honest. So it's kind of ironic really that I'm making this video now. A couple of months down the line I'm making this video, but listen, I don't care who the fighter is. I don't like to see a fighter get unfairly hated on and treated like shit. Like I said, Deontay Wilder's not perfect. Is he a weirdo? Yes. But is he exciting? Absolutely. And can he knock out your favourite heavyweight? Of course he can. And that's what these guys are most scared of. They know this man can knock out their favourite heavyweight. Full stop. Could he lose? Of course. but they know he could knock out their favourite heavyweight. And that's why these guys are trying to push back and they're scared. Straight up. Again, I think it's embarrassing if you're a boxing fan and you're scared for your favourite fighter. It's absolutely embarrassing. Straight up. I want to see Deontay Wilder fight Fury again, fight the Joshua Ruiz winner, fight Usyk. I want to see him fight all of his dudes. Do you? You know, and that goes to Deontay Wilder fans as well, by the way. You know, look at my Alexander Usyk video when they were hating on Usyk. So, you know, a lot of these fangirls need to settle down and just enjoy boxing. I'm going to enjoy Deontay Wilder's career for as long as he's around, because I was guilty. One thing I was guilty of, like I've said, I was guilty of letting his hardcore fans put me off Deontay Wilder, and that's on me. That's my mistake. I own up to that. So, yeah, man, I think we need to kind of simmer down and just enjoy boxing for what it is, you know? Regardless of what happens, whether your favourite fighter wins, whether your favourite fighter loses, yo, we're still going to have to get up and go to work, man. Or we still have to run our businesses. We still need to attend to our lives. We still need to pay our bills. Nothing really changes, bruv. Why so serious, man? Why so serious? But, it is what it is. I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this video. I know I may be in the minority, but that's fine. You know, I don't make videos to necessarily always hold the popular opinion. This is how I truly feel about this situation, and that's all there is to it. Share your thoughts below. Peace.